So welcome everyone in the CMA Part 2 class. So today our topic is marginal analysis. Okay. Now if you remember, I have already shared with you this handout and also the MCQs which we are going to do today. So I hope you have already seen that. Let's start. Now this area is part of the decision analysis section of CMA Part 2, right? We have already covered the CVP analysis, we have already covered the pricing area, and now we are on the marginal analysis. Apart from that, we have also done a lot of essay questions on this topic, right? So let's see some of the MCQs on marginal analysis. Now see, I have highlighted for you some of these figures which are important for today's class, like economic profit, accounting profit, normal profit, right? What is explicit cost, what is implicit cost, okay? So all this you need to understand. Very simple. Accounting profit you know very well, right? What is accounting profit? This one. Accounting profit is what you get in the income statement. It is total revenue minus all the cost of sales, your selling and admin expenses, right? Which are also called out-of-pocket payments to outsiders. And also they are called explicit costs. So you need to remember that all the expenses which you write in the income statement, they are called explicit costs, okay? If you see here, explicit cost is also discussed here. They are actual cash disbursements, fine. For this reason, they are sometimes called out-of-pocket or outlay costs. They are the accounting costs, and that is they are recognized in the accounting records, in short, income statement. I hope it's clear with everyone. Now the main idea here to discuss is economic profit. What is economic profit? Economic profit is also called pure profit. So you need to understand this. It is also called pure profit. Now when you deduct the implicit cost also from the accounting profit, you get economic profit. Getting it? So basically economic profit is what? It is revenue minus explicit minus implicit. I hope you got the point, right? So economic profit is what? Economic profit is the accounting profit which you get from your income statement. You have to deduct something called implicit cost from this figure to reach to the economic profit, okay? So what is this implicit cost? Implicit cost is also called normal profit. Examiner can ask you, what is implicit cost? That is also called normal profit. What is normal profit? It is also called implicit cost. Similarly, examiner can ask you, what is pure profit? Pure profit is also called economic profit. Getting it? Like I have written here for you. So you need to remember all these terminologies. Now let us see what is implicit cost. So implicit cost is opportunity cost. See here, I have written for you. Implicit cost is opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? It is the maximum benefit which you forego by using a scarce resource for a given purpose and not for the next best alternative. Now if you remember, we have a topic in CMA Part 1, okay, which is called RI, residual income, okay? In residual income, if you remember, we discussed this concept of imputed interest. Remember, imputed interest. What is imputed interest? That is used when you are evaluating the investment center manager and you are telling him that what if you would have taken this investment from the bank? You would have paid some interest, right? Which you are not paying right now. So that is called imputed interest, or you can call it cost of capital, you can call it the minimum return required by the owner, So that is also deducted from the accounting profit to reach economic profit. I hope you people got the point. See, economic profit is not residual income. Okay? Because if you remember, the formula of residual income is you take the profit, the accounting profit, and you deduct the investment multiply by that percentage. Okay? So, do you think this is the same formula as residual income? Economic profit, if you see, yes, it is more or less same as residual income. Because if you remember, what is the formula of residual income? My friends, focus please. That was operating income, which is definitely the accounting profit, minus you take the investment, you multiply with the imputed interest percentage. Right or not? We will do some MCQs also on this, and then you will realize that yeah, this is residual income, the other name for residual income, effectively. Getting it, my friends? So that is the difference basically between accounting profit and economic profit. I hope it's clear with everyone. Now below this, if you see, there is one more last sentence of this handout. If you see, they are saying you what is a relevant cost. So you need to remember, the relevant cost is a future cost. The relevant cost is a future cost, not a sunk cost. Sunk cost means a cost which is already incurred in the past. Okay, so past cost is not the relevant cost for us. Okay, so let's discuss an example. So for example, you are having a decision, you want to take a decision that whether I should make the product or whether I should outsource this production. Okay, whether you should make the product and sell or you should outsource the production. So someone else will make for you and he will deliver you and you will sell the product, right? In doing this decision, in making this decision, you are going to consider some alternatives, right, on both sides. So you will compare the both sides and you will see that which side is giving you more benefit, right? So in considering this decision, maybe there is some fixed cost which you can't remove, which you can't reduce based on this decision, So that cost you will not consider when you are taking this decision. That is called irrelevant cost. Okay. But if there is any cost which will be affected by taking this decision, so definitely that is a relevant cost for us, which is a future cost, and that will vary between these two alternatives. I hope it's clear with everyone. Till now, if you have any question, you can type in the chat box and I will answer you. Let's move forward, my friends. So if you see the handout I have already shared with you. So that is a handout I created for marginal analysis. Okay. So yeah, let us see question number 1.1. Umair, can you please read this question?
The explicit cost of production were 700,000 and the implicit cost for production were 200,000. The firm had during the previous year, Morrison Incorporation produced 200,000 pogo sticks and sold them all for $10 each.
Okay, very nice. So, I mean, you can see easily that from the requirement itself that what they are talking about. What they are talking about? They are talking about accounting profit, right? What they are talking about? Accounting profit and economic profit. So remember, we already know the formula for these two things. So can you people quickly calculate it for me and tell me how much is the accounting profit and how much is the economic profit? Yes, please. See, accounting profit, economic profit. So that is in all the options, so you need to actually calculate them. So please write your answers in the chat box so we can discuss. So very simple, my friends. If you see that the accounting profit will be what? The accounting profit will be the sales minus explicit costs, right? So how much is my sales? $210, right? Which is totaling 2 million. So from 2 million, if you deduct this cost of production, which is your explicit cost, so I think you can reach 1.3 million, right or not? So either the answer is B, C or D. When I need to find the answer, the real option, I will also minus this 200,000, which is my implicit cost. To reach the economic profit, how much? 1.3 million already you have, right? So once you deduct this 200,000 also, so how much will come? Yes, my friends, how much will come? 1.1 million, right? So what is the answer? B is the answer. As simple as that. Okay. Let us go on question number 1.2. So can I ask Reenu, please, can you read question number 1.2? Okay. Reenu, you have to unmute yourself. Okay, let us ask Mr. Bakir. Yes, Mr. Bakir. Okay. So I think there is some issue at your side with your microphone. Umair, can you please continue with reading 1.2?
Yes, sir. A normal profit is.
Very nice. So remember, we already discussed this in the handout. What is a normal profit? Remember, what was normal profit? In the handout we discussed.
Same as economic profit.
No. Let me go back and show you. What is a normal profit, my friends? This is normal profit. What is normal profit? Normal profit is another name for implicit cost. Getting it? So basically, it's the same as implicit cost. Now what is implicit cost? I already explained you guys that normal profit is the level of profit. Okay, this is the definition also you can see from here. Because you know, what is implicit cost? Remember, that was imputed interest. That was the return which the owners they need. So that is the level of profit necessary to induce the entrepreneurs or owners to enter and remain in the market. It means that is the amount of return which the owners need to keep investing in the business. Getting it? I hope you can relate it with the residual income concept. So let us go back to the question and see that what is the normal profit. It means normal profit is implicit cost. So can you see in these four options, where is implicit cost? You can write your answers in the chat box and I will see. So in this type of question, you have to use elimination technique, right? So definitely, as I said, normal profit, that is implicit cost. So that cannot be economic profit, right? So that cannot be the answer. What about the accountant bottom line, means accounting profit? No, that is not accounting profit, that is implicit cost. Then they say explicit cost. No, normal profit is not explicit cost, that is implicit cost. And what's remaining, that is implicit cost. Getting it, my friends? This is also, they say the cost of resources from economic perspective. So what is the cost of resources from economic perspective? That is also called implicit cost. I hope it's clear with everyone. Okay, so this is the way to do this type of question. Let us go to 1.4. Okay, so yes, Mr. Bakir, if your microphone is working, can you please read this? Hello? Okay. Renu, your microphone is working? Sherry, your microphone is working? Can you please read 1.4?
Hello.
Hi, Sherry.
Can you hear me? Hi, sir.
Yeah, can you please read 1.4?
You can hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Actually, I cannot read because it's a bit small.
Okay, I will zoom in. Now it's fine?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
great. Yes, please.
Okay. Which company had the highest economic profit? Companies A, B, and C had the following results for last year as reported in financial statement prepared in conformity with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States.
Okay, so they have given you 3 income statements. Okay, so and they need the highest economic profit, right, my friends? So remember this net income. What is that? Net income. That is my accounting profit or not? So that is my accounting profit, but I cannot base my conclusion here in this question. They are asking economic profit. So remember what we need to do extra to reach economic profit. We need to deduct the implicit cost from accounting profit to reach economic profit. So economic profit is equal to accounting profit minus implicit cost, right? Now what is this implicit cost and how to calculate it? I am again reminding you. That can be called as imputed interest, the cost of capital, the minimum return. Okay, and that is already given in the question. If you see here, how much? 12%. Okay, so this 12% you are going to multiply with these figures here. Okay, and whatever answer is coming, you need to deduct from this accounting profit to reach the final answer, and then you will compare which of these companies are giving you the highest economic profit. Yes, please. I am giving you 30 seconds for this. Please try and let me know your answers. Okay, some people have already shared their answers, but they are not correct. Please try again. So how much is 500,000 into 12%? That is 60,000, right? So basically what we have to do is we have to deduct 60,000 from 30,000. Okay, getting it? Then next is 300,000. If you multiply that with 12%, you will get 36,000. So 36,000 you need to deduct from 60,000. And finally 900,000, if you multiply with 12%, you get 108. And again you have to deduct this from 120,000. Accordingly you are going to get 3 figures and you need to select the highest one, which is company B. Definitely. Very nice, my friends. So B is the answer for this question. Once you do this exercise, you have to select the highest one, which is B. Okay, because see, company A, I think it's making a loss, right? 30 minus 60 is how much? Minus 30. Very nice. 60 minus 36, how much? That is 24. 120 minus 108, that is 12. So definitely this is giving us 24, the highest. Okay, if you have any confusion, please write in the chat box and I will open your microphone and I will reply you. Let us go to the next question, which is question number 1.7.8. Okay, so yeah, Sherry, Can you please continue reading?
The total cost of producing 7 units is.
Okay, very nice. You are reading the
The
requirement.
following data were.
Now see, Sherry, there are two requirements in this question, okay? The first one is total cost of producing the 7 units, and the second is the marginal cost of producing the 9th unit, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we need to calculate for the 7 units, please focus, and this is the 9th unit only. So here we are calculating for total 7 units, and here we are only calculating for the 9th unit. So be careful. Let us see first how we can get the total cost of 7 units. So they are giving you some information, some 4 columns they have given you, and they are saying total units of the product 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are total units. Okay, I think you can relate this back to learning curve topic. If you remember in CMA part 1 we have a topic called learning curve. So there we also do such type of questions. So then they gave you average fixed cost, average variable cost, and average total cost. If I need to know how much is the total cost of producing the 7 units, what you will do? Very simple. You will take the 7 and you will look for the total cost. How much? Right? You can multiply the 7 with the total cost, 36.86. How much is coming? Right? How much? My friends, very nice, all of you. Many people are writing in the chat box. I really appreciate your effort. Okay. So what about the next one? Now, the marginal cost of producing the 9th unit is. So see, these, if you take this 9, that is 9 units in total. Getting it? But I need the 9th unit. Where is the 9th unit? Remember? That is somewhere in between here. Between 8 and 9. If I do the calculation for 8 units and I also do the calculation for 9 units, do you think I can get my answer? Try this one, please. Yes, please try this one. So basically what you will do is you will say that 9 into 33.75 minus 8 into 34.75, and that should be your answer. Okay, please confirm me if C is the answer. C is the answer, right? So you are going to get 25.75. That is the cost of the 9th unit. Right, everyone? I hope you people got the point. Please say yes in the chat box so I can move forward. Okay, very nice. Let's move ahead. If any issue, please type in the chat box and I will answer you. 1.11. The marginal cost of the second unit of output is. The marginal cost of the second unit of output is. Okay, I'm giving you 30 seconds for this. Try your luck and let me know in the chat box what is your answer. Very nice. So Sajjad has already mentioned the answer. Naveed is there. Sherry, I don't think that is 150. Please check again. Anyone else? Yes, Sabir, Mr. Bakir, what's your answer? Liju, Adil, Naveed, Reena. Yes, please. Can you tell me the answers? Yeah, very nice. 110. How you got it? Like the way we did before. So you will say that the second unit is where? It's somewhere in between here, right? Because this is 1 unit, this is 2 units. Please note, this is 2 units. This is 1 unit. This is 3 units. So I need the second unit, which is somewhere in between here. Okay. So I mean, no calculation is needed. You can just minus this from here because it's only about 1 and 2. So 360 minus 250 should be the answer. Okay. Very simple, right? Let us move ahead with question number 1.14. They say a firm produces only 5 units. If total variable cost is 400 and total fixed cost is 200, then options. I'm giving you 1 minute for this. Try your luck and let me know the answer, please. Okay, so now see my friends, they are telling you one by one you have to check. In this type of question, you have to check one by one because the options are different. See, in one option they are saying marginal cost, in one option they are saying total cost, average fixed cost, average variable cost. So one by one you will test and then only you can answer what is the correct option. Okay, some are saying C is the answer, some are saying A is the answer. Okay, but unfortunately both are wrong. The correct answer is D for Doha. Okay, so let's see what is the correct answer. I mean, D is the answer. Let's see how we can get this answer. So first of all, if you remember, marginal cost. To calculate the marginal cost, you need 2 rows basically like this. Remember how you calculated the marginal cost here? You are comparing, right? 2 set of data, 2 set of information. Here we don't have it. Okay, we cannot say that marginal cost is how much. There is not enough data available to say that how much is the marginal cost. Okay, so A cannot be the answer. I hope it's clear with everyone. Now let's eliminate B. They say that the average total cost is 600. No, how much is the total cost? The total cost is, the average total cost is 120. How you got it? How you can get 120? I say the average total cost is 120, not 600. Can you calculate for me? You will say, okay, 200 plus 400, how much? 600. Divided by 5, how much? Got the point? 400 plus 200 divided by 5. This will give you the average total cost, which is 120, not 600. So you cannot say B is the answer. So B is also eliminated. C, average fixed cost is 200. No, because how much is average, how much is fixed cost? 200 divided by 5. How much is coming? How much is coming? 40, not 200. Got the point? So this is also not the answer. So what is the answer? Definitely D is the answer. Let's confirm. This average variable is 80. 400 divided by 5. How much? 80. Yes. D is the answer. I hope you people got the point. Interesting question, right? Expect this type of question in exam, my friends. Let's move ahead. 1.18. Sherry, please read this.
From the following information, calculate economic profit.
Thank you so much. Okay, so Sherry, can you tell me what is the formula for calculating economic profit?
Revenue less implicit cost.
Okay, revenue minus explicit cost minus implicit cost. Okay, or you can say in short that accounting profit minus implicit cost, like we discussed, because accounting profit is easier to understand, right? So you know already how to get the accounting profit, and then you can directly deduct some type of implicit costs like opportunity cost, imputed interest, foregone entrepreneurial income, like that. Okay, yeah, my friends, please tell me. Many people already wrote in the chat box. So I think you can start from the sales itself, which is 600, just minus every single amount to reach your answer, right? So the answer for question number 18 is D. D for Donald Trump, right? Okay. So my friends, if in the same question they ask you that what is accounting profit, then what you will do, you will stop till here only. This is your accounting profit. Getting it, everyone? But if they ask you economic profit, so you will go beyond the G&A and you will deduct the foregone interest as well as the foregone income. I hope it's clear with everyone. Similarly, in this type of question, they can ask you what is the implicit cost, right? So what is the implicit cost? The implicit cost is this one. These two are my implicit costs, right? If the examiner is asking you that how much is your explicit cost, so what you will say? You will say your explicit cost is these three figures. Okay, revenue you know very well. The revenue is 600,000. So you need to remember this. Okay, I hope it's clear with everyone. Let's move ahead. Then we have a question 1.2122. So there are again two questions here. Okay, two requirements. Yes, Umer, please read.
How many units should be produced?
Okay, and the second one also, please.
If 2 units of product were produced and sold, the total contribution margin would be.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, Naveed, can you read the scenario, please?
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam.
The company produced the following data rounded on its product.
Very nice.
Then number of units produced, unit cost, which includes fixed, variable, and total cost, and marginal revenue.
Yeah. Now see, what is the requirement? How many units should be produced? Very interesting requirement. Thank you, Naveed. So, my friends, how you are going to solve this question? Very tricky question. Not so much tricky. but it's tricky. So you can look one by one. If I produce 1 unit, my revenue is 90, my cost is 80, right or not? If I produce 2 units, again this is units, this is not the second unit, this is not the third unit. I hope you people got the point. This is cumulative. If we, now you can compare this one by one, very simple. Just compare it. If you see here, I am getting I think 5, right? 5 extra, right? How much I am getting in the 2 units? 90 minus 55, how much? 35, right? And how much I am getting in the next one? Again same, 35. And then how much I am getting? 90 minus 73, 17, right? And then there is a loss, 90 minus 107, there is a loss of 17. I hope you got the point. Now my friends, this question how you will solve, you need to remember what we discussed in the previous class regarding marginal cost and marginal revenue. Okay, so basically you can go up till your marginal cost equals your marginal revenue. Getting it? This is what we discussed last time. You can go up to that level in production when your marginal cost is exactly equal to your marginal revenue, because you know above that you will make a loss. Okay, so at which level I can go? I mean, of course you will not say that we are making 35 when we produce 2 and 3 units, so let's only produce 2 and 3. No, because this is not the I am saying the profit figure. We are talking about the marginal figure. Marginal means the amount which is incurred in making one additional unit. So if you remember, this is a concept that, you know, the more you produce, the more you can cover the fixed cost, right? So even in situations where you have spare capacity and you are getting an order in which you are making a break even, you know, no profit, no loss, still you prefer making that product because you want to cover your fixed cost. It's better to not waste the resources and, you know, keeping your labor idle, all these things. So what is the golden rule here? That you can go up to the level when your marginal cost will equal your marginal revenue. Up till there you can go. So definitely I will not go up to 5. Why? Because there my marginal cost is exceeding the revenue. Got the point, everyone? So that's why we can go up to which level? We can go up to 4. I hope you got the point. Everyone clear? Okay, please write yes in the chat box so we can move ahead. There is one more requirement relating to the same scenario. Thank you so much everyone for writing yes. If 2 units of the product were sold and were produced and sold, the contribution margin total how much? Yeah, what do you think? Remember what is contribution margin? That is sales minus variable cost. Okay, that is called contribution margin. So if 2 units, not the second unit, 2 units. Think about it. I'm giving you 30 seconds for this. Okay, some people have already mentioned the answer. So my friends, if I am making 2 units, how much is my revenue? Yes. How much is my revenue? 90, right? 90 is per unit. So when I make 2 units, how much revenue I will get? Yeah. So it will become 90 into 2. This is your sales. Variable cost will be how much? On 2 units, your variable cost is 70, right or not? So 70 into 2. I hope it's clear with everyone. This is your contribution margin. Effectively, you can say 20 into 2, which is how much? 40. And the answer is B. Okay, some people are saying 180, 140. No. I hope it's clear with you now. See, very simple. 2 units. What is the variable cost? 70. What is the revenue? 90. So what you will do, you will say, okay, 90 minus 70, that is my contribution per unit, which is 20. And how many units I am making? 2. So 20 into 240. This is the answer. Okay, my friends. I hope it's clear with everyone. Okay, my friends. I hope it's clear with everyone. Naveed, please read this question.
The maximum net profit that Narni can earn is.
Okay.
The Narni company produces value for the plumbing industry. Narni's per unit sales price and variable costs are as follows. Sales price is $12 and variable costs is 8. Narni's practical plant capacity is 40,000 units. Narni's total fixed costs aggregate 48,000 and it has a 40% effective tax rate.
Okay, remember we already discussed what is the difference between practical capacity and theoretical capacity. Okay, theoretical capacity is when you ignore the machine breakdown, you ignore the idle time and all these things, you know. So definitely you cannot not work 24/7 throughout the year, machinery cannot work. So they need some time to repair, you know, for maintaining the equipments. So there comes the practical capacity, which can be 80%, 90%, depends. Right? So Navi, thank you. You can mute yourself. Let us see this question. So they are saying you the maximum profit, maximum, how much you can earn. Yes, please highlight this, maximum profit. So they gave you the selling price, they gave you the variable cost, and they gave you the capacity also, they gave you the fixed cost also. What do you say? Very simple question, you just need to make income statement. Okay, when they are saying net profit means after tax. I hope you people know this. Net profit means after tax. So you have to deduct the tax also, which they have given you. To be quick, you can see the contribution directly. What is my contribution? And then you can deduct the fixed cost to reach your there is no interest here, so that will be profit before tax, then tax, and then finally net profit. Okay, so contribution will be 12 minus 8 multiply by 40, right? Fixed cost is already given 48,000 and the tax is at the rate of 40%. So like this, when you will solve it, you should get B. Many of you already wrote B in the chat box. I like it. Very nice. Okay, please try this. If you are not able to calculate, you can easily calculate like this. Okay. So the net profit which you will get will become how much? 67,200. Okay. You can fill it up later on. But this is the approach. Let us move ahead. Oh, very nice question. Big one. Okay. So, as I told you before, in CMA exams, some questions will be very small, some questions will be medium size, and some questions will be large size, and some questions will be extra large size. Okay, but all of the MCQs, they are already tested under timed conditions and they can be solved in 1.8 minutes. Okay, so definitely when you will do extra question practice, you will make that habit of doing the MCQs in 1.8 minutes. But definitely see, in some exams there is a technique that they set the timer for you. In CMA exams there is no timer, you know very well. So it means that in some MCQs you can give more time, in some MCQs you can give less time, so you can manage yourself. Getting it? So it's better than, you know, there is a timer running for you, that, you know, reverse timer 1.8 minutes, and after 1.8 minutes if you are not able to answer, khalas, they will shift to the next MCQ. So if that is the case, it will really be very hard to do the MCQs. Anyways, so that may be the reason that maybe some MCQs they have more score as compared to the simpler MCQs also. Okay, so maybe all MCQs they are not marked on the same scale. Getting it? But if you see this MCQ, always read the requirement. Like I always tell you, once you read the requirement, it's very clear that there is no calculation needed. You just need to tell whether that is relevant or irrelevant. Okay? Yes, Sherry.
When comparing the two options, the $50,000 trade-in allowance would be considered.
Okay.
Verla Industries
Wait,
is trying
Sherry,
to
wait,
decide
wait. Can you tell me, Sherry, what is trade-in allowance? Okay, I will tell you. Trade-in allowance means, for example, you have an old car. Okay, you want to change your car. Okay, you have, for example, Audi A4. Okay, now you are going to the Audi showroom and you are taking a test drive for maybe Audi A6, and you liked it. You said, okay, I want to purchase it, but can you please trade in my old car? And they would be more than happy to trade in, because that is their own brand, you know. So for example, if the cost is maybe 80,000, so you can trade in your old car maybe 25,000 and you will pay less. Getting it? Very simple. Read the scenario, please.
Yes, sir. Option 1, acquire a new fishing machine. The cost of the machine is $1 million and will have a useful life of 5 years. Net pre-tax cash flows arising from saving costs will amount to $100,000 per year for 5 years.
Okay, see the cost.
Depreciation
the cost
expense will be
was 1 million,
calculated.
right? The cost was 1 million. And
Yes.
right now, after all the depreciation and everything, you can have a trade-in allowance of how much? 50.
$50.
Yeah,
$50,000.
yeah, because it's fully depreciated actually. You have used it for the 5 years and it's already fully depreciated. Okay, so Naveed, can you see the screen, everyone? Sherry, is the screen fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, read further please.
Okay. Option 2, outsourcing work. Verla can outsource the work to LM Inc. at a cost of $200,000 per year for 5 years. If it outsources Verla's currently fully depreciated finishing machine,
Okay,
Verla's effective income tax rate is 40%.
okay. Now see, you don't have to worry about all these tax and weighted average cost of capital, all these things. Just you need to answer that this 50,000 is relevant or not. Getting it? So as I said, remember in the start of the class, that what is the relevant cost? Relevant cost comes in when you are taking a decision. You have two alternatives, maybe three alternatives, and you need to decide that this particular amount is relevant for me in taking this decision or not. So definitely when you are comparing these two options, so this trade-in thing, this is a future cash flow or not? Future cash flow, right? I mean, if you go for option 1, you are going to have a saving of 50,000. Right, everyone? Right, Sherry? Okay. But if you go for option 2, there is no saving like that. Right? So definitely that is relevant for us. So that is a conclusion. So now the point is that B or D, because both of them are saying relevant. Right? So now here comes your concept here. This trade-in allowance saving, that is a decrease in cash flow or increase in cash flow, outflow, sorry. Decrease in cash outflow or an increase in cash outflow. Yes, please. Yeah, very simple, right? Why you people are saying D? Why you people are saying D? Where is the outflow? They are talking about this trade-in allowance only. There's 50,000. I will not pay, right? So whatever I will pay, there is a decrease in cash outflow. The Sherry will get the car at less price. So there is a decrease in cash outflow or not? So what is the answer, my friends? The answer is B. I hope it's clear with everyone. Okay. Very nice. Okay, keep commenting in the chat box to let me know that you are not sleeping with open eyes. Right, everyone? Please don't sleep with open eyes. Okay. So yes, 1.33. If Reenu is with us, let us ask Reenu if she can read this. Reenu, can you please read? Okay, let us ask Omer, please read. Omer. Okay, Naveed. Naveed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, please read.
Question 1.33. Ignoring income taxes, the cost relevant to be decision to produce or not to produce the new product would be.
Okay.
Capital company has decided to discontinue a product produced on a machine purchased 4 years ago at a cost of $70,000. The machine has a current book value of $30,000. Due to technically improved machinery now available in the market, the existing machine has no current salvage value.
Means no scrap value. Okay.
The company is reviewing the various aspects involved in the production of a new product. The engineering staff advised that the existing machine can be used to produce the new product. Other costs involved in the production of the new product will be material of $20,000 and labor priced at $5,000.
Okay, so there is a machine, no use, nothing, no scrap value, even you cannot sell in the scrap market. So the engineering people, they said, no issues, sir, we can use it to make a new product, and the material will cost this much, labor will cost this much. So my friends, how much is the relevant cost in this decision? That whether to make the new product or not? Yeah, very simple question. Again, you need to remember the concept that relevant cost is a future cost, not the past cost, not the sunk cost. So based on this concept, what will be your answer? Naveed, please mute yourself. Okay, some people are typing the answer already. Some are saying A, some are saying B. Okay. The answer for question number 1.33 is A. My friends, what is the answer? A. Now see how is the answer. Very simple. 20,000 material and 5,000 labor. Khalas. Okay, I don't know how you people are getting B. How you people are getting B? 30 how you will get? See, the relevant cost to make the new product or not is the material which will be used, and the labor which will be used. Getting it? Everyone? So the 25,000 is the relevant cost because we are talking about the future cost. Okay? Not the past cost, which is the current book value, khalli walli this 30,000, because that is a past cost and that has no use in our decision. Okay? Past cost is also called sunk cost, and that is irrelevant in decision making, my friends. The amount is fully depreciated. They told you, right? No salvage value. Okay. No, there is a book value. Yeah, there is a book value of 30,000, but Naveed, that is irrelevant. Why? Because that is a past cost. I mean, I already purchased it 4 years ago. So, I mean, whether I go for the new product or not, will there be any impact on this machinery? No. Right? Or not? Like that. Okay? Very nice. Let us move on. We have 2 only more remaining, and then we will close the class. Okay, so 1.39, they say the profits this year will be, for the year just ended, the company sales revenue was 450, the fixed cost 120, variable cost is 270. Very simple question, my friends. The revenue is 450, fixed cost is 120, the variable cost is 270, the sales are 500 in the current year. So why they have given you 2 sales? One sales is for the year just ended, means the previous year, and the 500,000 is for the current year. So please read the requirement very carefully. They are asking about this year. This year means current year, not the previous year. And they say fixed cost will not change. Okay, very nice. Some people have already mentioned the answer. So people are saying A is the answer. Okay. Okay. So my friends, please focus. No, C is not the answer, and A is also not the answer. My friends, the answer for question number 39 is neither A nor C, unfortunately. Okay, so you people should take time and solve it properly. Make this habit in the exam also. Don't rush. If you rush, most of the times you will make it wrong. Now let's see. For the current year, my sales are how much? 500. For the current year, my variable cost, this is the main challenge. How much will be variable cost? To calculate this, you need to see how much was the variable cost last year as compared to sales. So that was 270 divided by 450, right or not? It means that my variable cost is 60% of sales. How I got this? I went to the last year, I divided the variable cost with the revenue of the last year to see how much is the ratio of variable cost. For this year, what you do, you multiply 500 with 0.6 to get your current variable cost, which is 300. So you will get 200 contribution. Okay. Now from this you need to deduct the fixed cost, and they said there is no change in the fixed cost, which is 120. So definitely the answer is 80. Okay, so what is the answer? B is the answer. Okay, see, again I would say that those who are making mistakes, they are in a better position to pass this exam. Why? Because when you make the mistakes, you learn. Okay? And when you learn, you don't forget. And this is what you need to do while solving the MCQs during your practice. Don't worry that you are doing the mistakes, because you will learn from your mistakes. Okay? So 143, last question, then we will close the class. If 10,000 new dolls are produced and sold, the effect on doll house profit or loss would be? So the company, are very profitable, plans to introduce a new type of doll. The sales price cost is follows. So we need to get the profit or loss. So again we need to make the income statement. Sales, variable cost, right? Now see, as you are progressing in your course, you should understand we can do a shortcut. What is the shortcut? You can directly calculate the contribution. Okay? By taking this difference, you can say, okay, the contribution is 40, and then you can work on it. I hope you people got the point. So if I need the contribution, what I will say 40 into 10,000. From where I got the 10,000? This is here. So how much will come? 400,000. Okay. Now they say incremental fixed cost. Incremental fixed cost, right? So I need to deduct it, which is 456. And you can easily see that there is a loss. How much is the loss? 56. Whenever there is a loss, there is a reverse tax impact. In questions you will calculate reverse tax impact here, the 30%, because they are saying, see, they are not saying anything, net, gross, whatever. So you will assume they are asking for net, and net means after tax. So definitely if there is a profit, you will deduct the tax, right? But if there is a loss, you will add the tax. So can you tell me how much is the tax reversal here? 30% of 56,000, how much? Right? And then you are going to get your final answer, which is negative 39,200, which is C. Okay, the answer will not be B, my friends, because we need to get the net answer. Okay, and you know, the taxation is a separate area, but I am just telling you that for the losses, the taxation people, they give some relief sometimes if certain conditions are fulfilled. So, and then there is a concept of deferred tax, you know, deferred tax asset, deferred tax liability, many concepts are there. Okay, just remember that if there is a loss, you need to add back the tax. So that is the conclusion of our MCQs on marginal analysis.